Hey guys, Miss Jones here. Welcome to your lesson for today, which is a review. I wanted to review writing two-step equations because we had a lot of people absent last week, and also after looking at our quizzes, I think that it's a good thing to review as this will really help you moving forward into the rest of the week. So we're going to go through these examples together, and I want you to write notes. And then on the back side of your paper, or if you need to take two papers and staple them together, you will do the assignment, which will be questions following the lesson. So remember that a two-step equation requires two steps to solve for your missing variable. And remember that every equation has an equal sign, and what it means is that you are setting two things equal to each other. And remember that we are also solving for an unknown. So with that being said, let's jump in with letter A. It says 13 more than 4 times a number is negative 93. Now, when we are solving these, we want to circle the is and understand that that means equals. So everything on the left of our equal sign equals negative 93. Now remember that more than and less than are our turnaround words. So they switch the order of the two things on either side. So it says 13 more than 4 times a number. So what we would have is we are adding 13 to 4 times the number. Now, all of these questions which include a number, a mystery number that we don't know, which we're solving for, you may use the variable n to represent that number. So far we have taken care of 13 more than 4 times a number is equals negative 93. So that's how we'd write that equation. Now we'll solve the second one together, but I just wanted to get us thinking back to what we learned a couple weeks ago. Let's try letter B. 7 less than twice a number equals is 43. Remember, we read is as equals. Now, remember what I told you as well, that less than and more than are turnaround words. So we switch the order of what is on either side of that phrase. So let's break this down a little bit. Let's unpack the left side of our equal sign. So it says 7 less than, so 7 is first, so that will come last because remember that less than is my turnaround word, which means subtraction. So 7 less than twice a number. Now twice a number means I'm taking double of that, or 2 times the number. So 7 less than twice a number is represented by 2 times the number minus 7, and that equals 43. Now, let's go ahead and solve this on the side. So I've got 2 times a number minus 7 equals 43. My first step will be to draw the line through the equal sign and circle my variable. And I will add 7 to each side. Remember, I take care of my variable last. So I have 2 times n, negative 7 plus 7 is 0. 43 plus 7 is 50. My last step is to divide each side by 2. To undo the multiplication between 2 and the n. Anything divided by itself is 1, and my answer is half of 50, which is 25. So my unknown number is 25. Now, if I were to reread the question, I know that my unknown number is 25. I could read this as 7 less than twice 25 equals 43. And I could check my work by subbing my answer back into the problem. Okay, so we have done A and B. Let's go ahead and try C, which is a word problem where we have cost. So it says the total cost of a suit and 4 ties is $292. The suit costs $200. Each tie costs the same amount. Find the cost of one tie. So our first step, and I'm going to write this below. our first step is to define our variable, to say what does our x represent. So in this case, x equals cost of one tie, because that's what we're trying to find. See how it says find the cost of one tie. That's our unknown. Now I need to think about how I could write an equation to represent the situation. And remember, I need to include an unknown, which is my x, and my total. So let's start with my total, which I can figure out is $292, because I'm told the cost of a suit and 4 ties is $292. So that's going to be my total amount. I know that. So what makes up that total? Well, the suit itself, which we only bought one, right, is $200. But I didn't just buy a suit, okay? Remember that I bought a suit and I also bought 4 ties. So the way I'd represent the 4 ties would not be 4, because I don't know what the cost of the 4 ties represented to make up that total amount of $292. The way I would represent my tie cost would be the 4 ties times the cost of each one. For example, if a tie costs $1, this would be the $200 plus the 4 ties times $1, which is $4 total, to make up the total amount of $292. Now, obviously, each tie does not cost $1, but hopefully you got the idea that X represents the cost of a tie, and we have 4 ties. So 4 times the cost of each tie is the total. So now let's solve this to figure out the total amount. So I'm going to subtract the suit's cost from my total amount. And to do that, I have to subtract 200 from each side. So now the 4 ties cost $92 when you subtract away the suit cost. Now, my last step is I need to figure out how much does each tie cost if I have 4. So the way I'll undo that is I'll divide each side by 4. 4 divided by itself is 1. So 1 tie equals $23. So my 1 tie is $23, and make sure you include your units, which is in money. Now, the way we could check our work, which you guys always do a good job of knowing how to do this, is we could check this by plugging in $23 in for the ties. So my total amount would be the $200 for the suit, plus the 4 ties times $92, plus the 4 ties times $23, and then all of that should give me a grand total of $292. Okay, so the last problem I'd like for you to take just as pure notes is going to be letter E. It says, Tony spent the day at the mall. At the end of the day, Tony found out that he spent a total, so that's going to be our equal sign and then our number, of $107.50. He spent that total on lunch, clothes, and school supplies. Tony spent an equal amount on school supplies and clothes. If Tony spent $10.50 on lunch, write an equation that can be used to find out how much Tony spent on school supplies and clothes. Okay, so our X, our unknown, is the amount Tony spent on clothes and school supplies. That's our X. That's what we don't know. Now, I like to work backwards and figure out what makes up the total of $107.50. So I know something's going to equal out to $107.50. And I know that the total comes from the amount he spent on clothes and school supplies plus lunch. And I'm told that he spent $10.50 on lunch, so that's part of the total of $107.50. And then I'm going to add to that what he spent on school supplies and clothes. So I really don't know how much he spent on school supplies and clothes, but I do know he spent $10.50 on lunch. So the way that I would figure out the remainder of what he spent is I'm going to add the amount he spent on school supplies and clothes to the lunch value, which will give me a total of $107.50. Now this is a one-step equation that I could solve by subtracting $10.50 from each side, but I'm not going to solve that. I just wanted to show you how we could set that up. Okay, the last problem we're going to do together today. And I think I'm going to actually have us do this together so that way you're ready for your assignment. It says 3 businesses donated money to charity. The table shows the pledge made by the business. Business B pledged $20 million less than twice the amount pledged by business A. So let's go ahead and write down our expression to represent how much business B pledged. So it says that they pledged $20 million less than twice the amount pledged by business A. Now, less than is your turnaround word, so we are subtracting $20 million. Okay, from twice the amount pledged by business A, and business A is represented by X. So $20 million less than twice the amount pledged by business A. That's going to be business B. Okay. Now we're told that if X represents the amount pledged by business A, write an expression to show the amount pledged by business B and business C in terms of X. Now, if we read this carefully, we're told that business C pledged $20 million less than twice the amount pledged by business B. So again, less than is our turnaround word. And we understand from the question that business C pledged $200 million less than. So $200 million. Okay. And business C pledged $200 million less than twice the amount pledged by business B. So twice the amount of business B would be 2 times business B. 2x minus this. I cannot fit that in, so I just drew an arrow. Okay, so again, business C pledged $200 million left than twice the amount of business B. So in our parentheses, even though I ran out of space, it would be 2 times 2x minus 20 million. So that is the last problem I wanted to do with you guys today. If you have any questions, do not hesitate to reach out. Now, if you were absent last week or you are not happy with your Edulastic 2-step equations grade, now you are at the point where you can redo or do your Edulastic 2-step equations. Remember, if you are not happy with your score, you must message me on campus and ask me to reset it. I will happily do that. If you were present last week and you did not get it done, you will get up to half credit if you redo it. If you were not present last week, though, you'll get full credit as long as it is due by Thursday. Now, remember that your mixed numbers need to be in proper fractions, and do not include dollar signs in your equations as you write them. Now, on the next page, you will do a few questions to practice this, and this is going to be your assignment for today. Have a great day, and I will talk to you guys later.